If you want awesome products at great prices, check out the description. Iran's unwavering commitment to its nuclear enrichment program continues to escalate international tensions. Amir-Saeid Iravani, Iran's UN ambassador, declared on Sunday that the Islamic Republic's enrichment activities are non-negotiable, citing the right to peaceful nuclear energy under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. He emphasized Iran's inherent right to enrichment, asserting that it's a matter of principle, not subject to compromise. While Iravani stated Iran's willingness to engage in negotiations, he unequivocally rejected any notion of unconditional surrender, characterizing such demands as dictatorial. He further clarified that following recent aggression, the current conditions are unsuitable for fresh negotiations, and no formal requests for meetings with the Iranian president have been received. Simultaneously, Iravani vehemently denied any threats against Rafael Grossi, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, or its inspectors, despite accusations from some Iranian officials suggesting IAEA involvement in justifying Israeli actions. He confirmed the presence of IAEA inspectors in Iran but noted a suspension of their access to Iranian nuclear facilities, attributing this to a perceived failure of the inspectors to adequately fulfill their duties. The envoy's assertion of no threats followed his condemnation of calls for Grossi's arrest and execution, a matter previously raised by U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, referencing reports in a media outlet linked to Iran's leadership. Iran's parliament, it was confirmed, has formally suspended cooperation with the IAEA. The strategic rationale behind Tehran's rejection of diplomatic solutions, according to Iravani, stems from what he perceived as U.S. attempts to dictate policy. He emphasized Iran's readiness for negotiations, contingent upon a mutual respect for sovereign decision-making, rejecting any form of imposed policy. Earlier remarks by Iravani, reported by Al-Monitor, indicated a potential willingness to transfer enriched uranium stocks to another country as part of a broader agreement with the United States. This transfer of 20% and 60% enriched uranium would not represent an insurmountable obstacle, with the alternative being oversight by the IAEA within Iran. However, Iravani firmly reiterated Iran's unwavering commitment to maintaining domestic uranium production capabilities, a position firmly rejected by the U.S. These statements come amidst escalating tensions triggered by recent U.S. airstrikes on 3 Iranian facilities. The extent of the damage remains a point of contention. While President Trump initially declared the facilities totally obliterated, IAEA Director Grossi described the damage as very serious, acknowledging Iran's capacity to resume uranium enrichment within months. Trump dismissed reports of Iran moving 400 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium prior to the strikes, suggesting the movement was logistically difficult and that the surprise nature of the attack precluded significant relocation. He speculated that activity observed near the facilities before the strikes involved sealing operations, claiming the sites are now filled with thousands of tons of rock. However, reports in the Washington Post revealed intercepted Iranian communications indicating the damage was less severe than initially feared. The White House dismissed these reports, labeling them nonsensical. Adding further complexity to the geopolitical landscape, Iran's Armed Forces Chief of Staff, Abdolrahim Mousavi, reportedly expressed deep skepticism towards a ceasefire agreement between Iran and Israel, announced by President Trump, expressing serious doubts about Israel's commitment to the terms and preparing for further responses to any future aggression. Mousavi also accused Israel and the U.S. of disregarding international norms and laws, highlighting Iran's defensive posture in the conflict. The international community watches with bated breath as this complex and volatile situation unfolds, marked by starkly contrasting narratives and the potential for further escalation. The future remains uncertain, with the possibility of further conflict hanging heavily in the air. The conflicting statements from various parties highlight the deep mistrust and the seemingly intractable nature of the ongoing dispute. The path to resolution remains unclear, shadowed by the strong rhetoric and the lack of demonstrable commitment to de-escalation from all sides involved.